Hi everyone, hope you're doing well. Today I'm going to go through my 10 predictions for 2025. So I do this video every year where I kind of have a guess at a few things that might happen in the stock market or stock market related in the coming up year, which is obviously 2025. So I'll share those with you today. As always, it is a bit of fun because obviously trying to predict something that happens in the next 12 months, especially stock market related, it's a bit like red or black at a casino. So just be careful of how serious you take these. And as well as that, we'll look at some of my predictions from 2024 and see how many of them actually happened. Hope you enjoy it. Let's get started. So you can see here, this is the video I did last time on my 2024 stock market predictions, and I have no idea what is going on with this thumbnail. Can you believe I paid someone to make this for me? I mean, just look at the thumbnail. That is the worst picture you could have had. I mean, yeah, it's actually scary. It's scary how what I look like there. But on there, I made a couple of predictions. We'll review my 2024 predictions, and then I'll get stuck onto my 2025 predictions. So the first one of the 2024 predictions was the S&P would be green in 2024, which did happen, and I predicted a return of 5 to 10%, and obviously it was a little bit more than 5 to 10%. So yeah, got that a little bit wrong. Well, I got it that it was green, but obviously I thought it would be a bit of a slower year, and it wasn't. It was another big return from the S&P 500. I guess the big thing that I didn't expect to happen is metric expansion, and that certainly did happen with the S&P 500, and it had a fantastic year. The next one was around YouTube influencers would come back, and there would be a lot more hype on the social media side of it, on the YouTube side of it. So yeah, I'm definitely going to give myself that one right. I definitely think there was a lot of hypesters that came back, a lot of YouTube pumpers came back. Even Roaring Kitty came back in 2024. So I am definitely going to say I got that second one right. The next one was that Trump would win the election if he was allowed to run for it. And yes, obviously, as we know, he did go on and he did win the election. The next one was around the UK politics side of it. And I said that we would have a winter election so that Rishi could get the economy growing as much as he can, get inflation as low as he can, get a couple more interest rates in, and he could kind of show off a little bit more about, look, everything is going right now. He didn't. He went for the summer election, which totally surprised me, and probably one of the reasons why he did awful in the election, to be fair. So maybe he should have watched the video and gone for that winter election, and he might have done a little bit better on the polls. The next one was that the S&P 600 would outperform. It didn't outperform the S&P 500. It did have a good year though. It was I think something like 13-14%, but obviously the S&P was like 23-24%. So it didn't outperform the S&P 500, but it did have a good year, which my theory is that it's a lot cheaper, and the interest rates coming down, but it just didn't work out enough. So yeah, a bit close on that one, but not 100% right. So I'm not going to give myself that one, unfortunately. Next one, Apple will underperform the stock market. It certainly didn't underperform the stock market. It did outperform the stock market, and yeah, did get that one wrong by a couple of percent. So I cannot give myself that one. Next one was S4 Capital will double. It definitely didn't double from the current share price, although my theory was advertising would return, and it did kind of return. But yeah, for this one it certainly didn't, because a lot of its tech clients continued to not spend any money with it. Next one was that InMode will do a acquisition, or if they don't do an acquisition, they will do a share buyback. And if you remember, during that time frame, the management team were going, no, we're not doing share buybacks. We've never seen the results from it. We refuse to do a share buyback. They didn't only go and do one share buyback, they did 2 share buybacks. So yep, I did get that one. I'm going to give myself that one there. Next one, DraftKings. I said DraftKings would underperform compared to the prior year. Had a good year in 2023, 2024. I just thought the valuation needed to catch up, and I said that DraftKings would not go up more than 30% in 2024. And everybody was shocked by that, because obviously in 2023 the stock went up over 100% return. So for me to say that, yeah, it was quite a big statement, and that did happen. It did not go up more than 30%. So I did get that one right. And the last prediction that I had in 2024 was PayPal. I did say PayPal would finish above a $90 stock. Now it depends on exactly where you take the price of PayPal, because it was hovering around the high 80 mark But I'm telling you, from where the negativity was in PayPal when we were doing that in the back end of 2023 to go from $61 to a $90 stock, I am going to give it, even if it was only at $89, I'm going to give myself that one there. So yeah, not too bad at all. Overall, I got 6 out of 10 right, which isn't too bad, and there was some okay ones there. There wasn't some miles away, so I'd say that's not too bad overall. I'm quite happy with those predictions from 2024. So here are the ones that I'm going for in 2025. Let's see if we can get more than half of them right coming up in this year. So first of all, let's start with the S&P. My opinion is very much like last year's prediction. I believe the S&P will either be negative 5% this year to a 10% return. So quite a bit of a broad range, I would say, this year. So maybe being a bit sneaky on that one there, but I think it's going to have a slower year for sure. That's what I'm going to go with. Next one, we've just seen TikTok get banned in the US. I believe TikTok will come back in the US. I think Trump will use it as a bit of a get pally with China again and go, hey, we'll still allow TikTok for you, but give some good trade conditions. I think it will come back in the US, so we'll see what happens there. Next one. This is probably the big one out of my whole list. Ukraine and Russia war will end. I believe that they will look at this and go, you know what, we've been doing this for a few years now, we're not getting any on the ground. Trump might come in as a bit of a peacemaker. I think that potentially this could be the end of it, but that is a big statement, and if there's one that definitely won't come right, I think it will be that one, but I'm going to go for it. I'm going to throw it on the list. Next one. Going to the UK side of it, obviously I did a bit of a political one from the US, going to do a political one from the UK. Well, I guess it's not really political, but I believe the economy will enter recession in 2025. I think that the NI impacts for the first half of the year will cause a slowdown. I didn't know whether to go for that there would be inflation over 4% or the UK economy slows down even more, but I went with this one in the end. Next one. I think that I'm going to have at least 2 of my stocks taken over next year. I think that because the pound is so weak and also interest rates are coming down, the valuations of a lot of UK stocks are in the dumps, I think I might get 2 stocks at least acquired next year. So I think it might be a big takeover happening in the stock market. Next one, I am going to go back again. I am going to say Apple underperforms the market. It has to underperform it. I just don't understand how it can keep going up at 34 times earnings. And it's not a company with any more growth. You know, net income's down 35%. Revenue is growing. Yeah, it's going up 6%. But come on, it's got to go down at some point. JD Sports. I think that JD Sports will double or nearly double, maybe £1.40. I think that JD Sports will maybe go up to around about the £1.40 range in 2025. I just think this is way too low, and if they hit anywhere close to the numbers that they're supposed to do, I think it'll have a pretty good year. Next one, I'm going to go with a Tesla one. I think that one of the big reasons why Tesla stock rallied next year is that the people thought full self-driving would be allowed. I still think in 2025 we will not see self-driving from Tesla, even though Elon Musk is the president now. I still don't think he'll be able to get it across the line, so we'll see what happens there. Next one, another DraftKings one. So this time I'm going to go with DraftKings will actually go up more than 30%. So I'm doing the opposite to what I did last year. I think if they do execute on their numbers they're supposed to do, it will have a pretty good year. So I'm reversing the pick that I had from last year. And this is my last one, the final one. AMD. I think AMD will go above $180 next year if they do the financials they're supposed to do. I think the valuation will look very good, and people will be sitting thinking, hold on, this company is 23 forward times earnings for a company growing at 20%. For an AI company, we love AI companies, we're going to buy it and it'll go up. So that's the last one on the list. So I hope you enjoyed it. Once again, a range of predictions. As always, take it with a pinch of salt because we don't know what's going to happen in the next 12 months. Some that could likely happen, some that I think are a little bit outstretched, but we'll see. I've tried to do a mixture, UK, US stocks, some political ones in there. So yeah. Hope you enjoyed it, and you guys throw any in the comment section for your predictions as well. As always, thanks for watching, guys. See you in a bit.